Picture this, a world where every time you sit down to work, you slip effortlessly into focus. No pings, no endless scrolling, no second guessing, just you, your ideas, and the pure satisfaction of making real progress every single day. Feels rare, right? But here's the truth. It's not some distant fantasy, it's a skill called deep work. And once you master it, everything changes. You get more done in less time. You move faster toward your goals. And maybe, most importantly, you actually enjoy the process. If you're ready to unlock that level of focus and build the kind of life you've been dreaming about, you're in the right place. Let's take a step back for a second. Before jumping into how to set up a deep work routine or hack your productivity, there's something way more important we need to talk about: why deep work even matters. Because honestly, if you don't really understand why it's crucial, no trick or system will stick for long. Here's the reality most of us live in. Our days are crammed with distractions. Notifications popping up, emails demanding attention, a quick check of Instagram that somehow turns into 20 minutes. Maybe even an hour. It's like our brains are constantly being pulled in 1,000 directions. And the scary part? We've started accepting this as normal. We've started believing that being constantly busy equals being productive. But if you zoom out a bit, it's clear. Being busy is not the same as creating value. Now, deep work is the antidote to that chaos. It's the ability to sit down, block everything else out, and give your full mind to something challenging. No checking your phone every 2 minutes, no bouncing between tasks, just full, pure, immersive focus. And here's why that's so powerful. Deep work is what actually pushes your skills to the next level. It's what allows you to create things that didn't exist before, whether that's writing a book, designing a product, starting a side business, or building a better life for yourself. On the other hand, shallow work is like treading water. Sure, you're moving, you're staying afloat, but you're not getting anywhere new. Shallow work is answering emails, sitting in meetings that don't need to happen, mindlessly tweaking a spreadsheet for the 3rd time. It's the stuff that fills your day without moving you forward. And if you think about it, most people's days are packed with shallow work. That's why, even though we're more connected and busier than ever, so many of us feel stuck, like we're not making real progress toward the life we want. Now, if you're someone who dreams of more freedom with your time, freedom with your finances, freedom with where you work and live, then mastering deep work isn't just a nice skill to have. It's non-negotiable. Because here's the truth. Freedom doesn't come from being busy. Freedom comes from creating value. Real, undeniable value that people will pay for, support, and appreciate. And the kind of value that changes lives, yours and others, only comes when you're able to focus deeply. When you look at people who have built amazing careers, thriving businesses, or creative masterpieces, you'll find they have one thing in common. They've learned how to do deep work. They've learned how to shut off the noise and give their best energy to the work that matters most. And here's a little secret. Deep work isn't something you're either born good at or not. It's a skill, like playing the piano or running a marathon. It can be learned, it can be practiced, and it gets stronger the more you use it. So if you're feeling scattered, distracted, overwhelmed, you're not broken. You're just living in a world that's designed to break your focus. The good news is, you can take that focus back. You can build your own deep work system. And once you do, you'll start creating more value in less time. You'll start moving faster towards the life you actually want. That's why deep work matters. It's not just about getting more done. It's about creating a life that feels free, meaningful, and exciting. All right, so now that we understand why deep work matters, let's dive deeper into something even more fundamental: the idea of creating value. Because here's the thing, no matter which path you take, whether you're climbing the career ladder, building a side hustle, or running your own business, the way you unlock freedom is the same. You create value. But what does value even mean? It's actually pretty simple. Think about it like this. Imagine you've got a handful of raw materials. Maybe they're worth $1. Then you do something with them. Maybe you shape them, Combine them, improve them, and suddenly they're worth $2. That difference, that's the value you added. And sure, if you're a baker or a carpenter, you literally transform raw materials into something tangible, like turning flour into a loaf of fresh bread or wood into a beautiful table. But most of us today aren't working with physical materials. We're working with pixels, ideas, knowledge. We're using our brains. If you're writing, designing, coding, consulting, creating content, you're taking a blank screen and, through your skills and creativity, you're turning it into something that matters to someone else. That transformation, that's value. And here's a really important point. Something only has value if someone else agrees it's valuable. You could write the most beautiful poem in the world, but if nobody's willing to pay for it, at least in the economic sense, it's not considered market value. This is crucial if you're aiming for financial freedom. It's not enough to just feel that your work is good. It needs to create something that others want, need, or are willing to invest in. Now, why does this matter so much? Because when you understand that your job, no matter what you do, is to create value, suddenly your priorities shift. It's no longer about how many hours you sit at your desk, how many emails you answer, or how busy you look. It's about how much value you actually produce. And the thing is, value creation requires real focus. You can't create anything meaningful if you're constantly checking your phone or jumping between Slack messages and emails. Great ideas, great work, great businesses. They come from long stretches of uninterrupted thinking, experimenting, problem solving. They come from deep work. Think about it. Management consultants don't make absurd amounts of money because they fill out PowerPoints. They make money because they synthesize complex information, spot opportunities, solve huge problems, and then package that insight into a format that clients understand and value. It's the same for entrepreneurs, artists, creators, even employees who rise to the top of their industries. They create value that's hard to replicate, and they can only do that when they're deeply focused. So if you're serious about building a better career, a better business, or simply a better life, you need to get serious about creating value. And getting serious about creating value means getting serious about deep work. Because without focus, you're just spinning your wheels. But with focus, you can turn your ideas into real assets. You can turn your skills into income. You can turn your passion into impact. And that, ultimately, is how you move from where you are to where you want to be. Now, let's bring it a little closer to real life. Imagine two people. Both have a regular day job. Both have a dream. Maybe it's to start their own business, launch a side hustle, or just build something meaningful outside of their 9-to-5. And let's say both of them only have 5 hours a week to work on it. Same goal, same amount of time. But here's where things get interesting. Person one sits down after a long day at work, opens up the laptop, and immediately gets pulled into a vortex. Emails, social media, random YouTube videos, everything but the work they actually need to do. They try to start outlining a plan, but get sidetracked checking messages. They spend half their time fighting distractions, and at the end of those 5 hours, they've made some progress, sure, but it's scattered, unfocused, small. Now, person two, different story. They sit down, phone out of reach, distractions blocked. They know exactly what they're working on. For the next hour, it's just them and the task in front of them. No multitasking, no endless tab switching, just focused, deliberate effort. Same 5 hours a week. But the output? Completely different. Because when you can focus deeply, you're not just working harder, you're working smarter. You're producing more value in less time. And over weeks and months, that difference compounds like crazy. The first person feels like they're grinding but going nowhere. The second person? They start seeing real results, faster, easier, with less wasted energy. That's why deep work isn't just nice to have. It's your superpower. It's what makes the difference between dreaming about your goals and actually reaching them. It's what separates people who constantly feel overwhelmed from those who move forward, even when life is busy and messy. Because here's the truth. Most people are distracted. Most people stay distracted. So if you can be one of the few who can consistently focus, even for just a few hours a week, you instantly set yourself apart. And it's not about working more hours. It's not about hustling harder than everyone else. It's about working better. By mastering deep work, you create a huge unfair advantage for yourself. You'll start producing higher quality work. You'll solve harder problems. You'll move faster toward whatever version of success you're aiming for. Whether it's freedom, security, creativity, impact, deep work is the engine that gets you there. And the beautiful part? It's a skill you can build. It's a muscle you can strengthen. Every single deep work session you complete makes you a little sharper, a little faster, a little more powerful. Deep work turns time, that thing everyone says they don't have enough of, into real, tangible progress. It's not magic. It's just focus, applied consistently. And once you realize that, it changes everything. All right, so let's take this one step further, because here's something that most people don't talk about enough. Freedom, the thing we're all chasing, isn't really the final goal. It's just a tool. When you think about it, the reason anyone wants financial freedom, time freedom, or location freedom isn't because they want freedom for its own sake. It's because of what freedom allows you to do. Freedom is the currency, and what you buy with that currency, that's fun and fulfillment. Imagine it for a second. You reach that dream. No alarm clocks, no boss, no endless meetings. Your calendar is completely blank. You could do anything you want. Sounds amazing, right? And it is. For about 2 weeks. Then something weird happens. Without anything meaningful to do, boredom creeps in. Then frustration. Then, sometimes, even a little bit of depression. Because humans aren't built to sit around doing nothing. We're built to create, to contribute, to grow. And when people who've achieved complete freedom are asked what kind of work they still want to do, their answer is almost never, "I want to answer emails while half watching TikToks." They say things like, "I'd love to write every morning. I want to paint, to build, to create. I want to spend hours making music, building projects, helping others, exploring ideas." In other words, they want to do deep work. Because deep work isn't just how you get freedom, it's also how you enjoy it once you have it. Deep work leads to flow, that state where you're fully absorbed in something challenging but meaningful, where time melts away and you're completely present. And after a deep work session, there's this feeling and a kind of quiet, satisfied glow that you just don't get from mindless scrolling or shallow multitasking. You feel alive. You feel fulfilled. And honestly, that's what we're all really chasing. Not endless leisure, not passive boredom, but the ability to choose meaningful, creative, challenging work on our own terms. So deep work isn't just a tool to make money faster, or to build your side hustle, or to climb the career ladder. Deep work is a skill that makes life itself more rewarding. It gives you the power to create things you're proud of. It gives you the confidence to know that you can take an idea in your head and turn it into something real. And it gives you a deep, lasting sense of purpose, whether you're still on the journey to freedom or you've already arrived. So when you invest time in building your deep work system, you're not just buying faster success. You're building a life that's richer, fuller, and a hell of a lot more fun along the way. And that's a journey worth taking. So, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Deep work isn't just about productivity or working harder. It's the foundation for creating a life that's free, fulfilling, and fun. It's the skill that lets you build your dreams faster, with less stress and more meaning. It's what allows you to not only reach your goals, but actually enjoy the journey along the way. And the best part? It's a skill anyone can learn, including you. Start building your own deep work system. Experiment. Track your focus time, strengthen that muscle, because the sooner you do, the sooner you'll start seeing real, lasting change in your work, your creativity, and your life. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're looking for more ideas on how to improve your focus and build a life you love, there's plenty more waiting for you. Take care, stay focused, and see you next time.
Thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, the best way to support the podcast is to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Every bit of support helps us keep creating content that actually matters. See you in the next one.